We are going to welcome Jeremy to our call today. And hi, Jeremy, are you there? There he is. All right.
Good evening. Good evening.
So I am going to spotlight he and he is going to be our interviewee. And then we're going to have him hop off after his spotlight or after his interview because he has young children in his home as well. So we just want to gift him back some time. But everybody, please welcome Jeremy Fyfe from Don't Stress, called GLS.
Hey, thank you so much for having me.
Thanks for being with us tonight. So a little bit about us, just a little bit. We are entrepreneurial, and we also have a lot of other balls in the air, so to speak. And so why we wanted you here is that I see your unstoppable energy and force, and you have just grown, and even with the short time that I've known you. And then also when we were sitting around as a family the other night at the fire, you were talking about like some of your trials and struggles, and I was like, I wish I could have him on our show. So I was hoping that, and thank you for saying yes. So, all right.
Anything for a friend.
Couple things. Introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about you.
All right. So thank you for having me, first off. My name is Jeremy Fyfe. I'm the owner of GLS Painters. We are based in Sicklerville, New Jersey. I have a beautiful wife that we just shared a 5-year anniversary. Her name is Kayon. I have a 6-year-old who graduated from Zoom kindergarten last year and is now in the 1st grade. And big shout outs to my wife for holding it down and being with him the whole year and not losing her mind. And then I have a ball of fire, Junior, Jeremy Jr. He's 4 years old, and we're just happy.
That's
so I have
awesome.
a young family.
That's awesome. And is there other things? Is it like, are you just a family man? You're a stay-at-home family man? Like, what else?
No.
Tell us a little bit about what else you have going on in your life.
So I'm a husband, father, brother, mentor, stand-up guy, funny guy, hangout guy, volunteer. So I know you asked about like some volunteer service that I do. One of the things, I have a list actually, so I wrote some stuff down. We regularly do paying it forwards on an app called Nextdoor, and we just pick random people to like paint their door. And if you don't know what Nextdoor is, it's a community service app that I've actually had the opportunity to grow on, and I get a good amount of business from there. So I like to give back on there. Also on the app and on Facebook, last year we got hit with a huge snowstorm in South Jersey. We actually shoveled out roughly 50 of our clients and neighbors for free. We also helped out during the hurricane. Go ahead.
So he is using his employees to go and shovel out people, his crew to go and do that. Okay.
Yep.
And he posts it on Facebook like, hey, let us know if you need help today. And that's how he does it. It's not like a set route. It's just anybody who can get into these slots, and he and his crew will go over there.
And I bring the kids. I'm very active with my children. Where we just moved into a house. Like, I actually had my crew over here the other day, and one of my crew leaders was actually teaching Liam, my 6-year-old, how to paint. And so I always get them active. So yeah, getting back to some of the volunteer stuff, we helped out with donations during the hurricane, which actually hit pretty hard in Mullica Hill, New Jersey. And after we donated, I actually reached out to several of my customer base, just checking in on them. So I like to stay top of mind as much as possible. But most importantly, I like to be a human being first. Some of the things.
Go on. Some of the things. I apologize.
Go ahead. So I only got like 3 more things. The next initiative that we plan on doing, since I do have kids, is the Young Entrepreneurial Scholarship, where we plan on giving $500 to $1,000 to a growing kid that is anywhere between, I guess, 4 and 18 years old that wants to start their business. So we're going to like kind of do like a Zoom Shark Tank type of thing, where we're just going to pick a kid and give them some money, and I'll try to mentor them as much as possible along the way as well.
I feel like
Uh,
that deserves, like, does anybody want to say something audibly
I
into
want
the
to
Zoom
say that's
live?
amazing,
What?
and I have somebody for you.
cool. Send them. So yeah, we plan on
No.
launching that. I wanted to launch it this year, but most likely I'm going to end up launching it at the beginning of next year.
And Tristan
Uh,
did celebratory emojis, and Marion had a big thing, and Susan. Okay, and your next thing?
the last thing, which is most important in my time, I actually make the time to preach about God's word, the Bible, and conduct free Bible studies. So
Yeah, that's like what? You have
like the
all
best
that?
thing to do.
Like, there you
Yeah.
go. So one of the things I really like too is he was talking about the male energy is different than female, and I know there's theories, not theories. We're learning more about gender as we move forward, right? But his energy was like one ladies. He said, "Oh wait, I got a couple more things on my list. Wait, I got a couple, right? Not in a great way, right? But how many of us say, wait, I have a couple more things on my list I want to talk about, or do we hurry up and just say a couple, just our little things, and then just try to like get back into our lane, just kind of get back to it. So that's one of the things. And then we're going to talk about when we want to push forward and when we maybe want to like loosen the reins a little bit. So can you tell me something about what are some times where you maybe felt like quitting, or could you give us any specifics of when you thought about like quitting forever your business?
So that would be 2019. Was ready to just give it all up, find a job or start a new business, try to like break into real estate or something like that. But I pretty much I've employed well over 50 people, and I think I was on like the last like set of team at that time. Basically we just weren't aligning, and I said, if I don't figure this out, I'm just gonna. This isn't what I need to be doing, you know. But it wasn't. So what I really realized is that, and I had like 3 guys at the time too. I fired them all at the same time because we just weren't aligning. But mainly, they didn't respect me, and they didn't respect the standards that I were trying to put into my business. Most importantly, and the name that I was trying to actually build in the neighborhood. So it was just trying to do it their way, and I just wasn't having it. So I fired them all at the same time, and then I'm like, yeah, you know what? I think I'm done. And then I wasn't done. I've been painting for a very long time, since I've been at least 16, 18. I started my business when I was 21, and then now I've been doing it ever since. But I guess I felt like quitting. I quit for a little bit, and I got back at it. And mainly, my friends and family wasn't letting me do that, basically.
So it's our community who we surround
Yeah,
ourselves with.
yeah.
And then you even said something about some of the marketing initiatives that you attempted or tried, or some of the masterminds that you have been a part of. You've walked away from some of them. What
hmm
and the way he said it was just like not sheepishly, like no, I quit that. No, that's not how you did it. But so tell us, when have you gauged like, okay, I'm confident about what I'm stopping. I'm confident about letting this person go.
So I recently had a business coach, and um, I've actually been in his community for several years, and like I'm like, all right, well, I finally like reached that top boss, and I got him a phone call away. Everything, it was not what I thought it was going to be. So, and I already have a lot on my plate. So my kids are young. My wife needs me. I'm very active in our relationship. I try to be in my kids' life. I dropped them off at school. I picked them up. I adding to that volunteer list. I'm actually trying to like coach flag football or something. but uh, I realized that having a business coach is just not what I needed right now. I'm already moving at a good pace. I don't need to have a business coach that's going to bombard me with more work than I already have, and I already have goals. And he was just trying to refine the goals, but making me work more than what I was trying to do. And I just didn't really appreciate it. So I let him go and I dropped out of the mastermind too. But it was a great mastermind, but I guess wasn't feeling it. So I moved on.
Yep. And I think that that is a confidence that we need. Oftentimes in coaching programs, I'm not dogging a lot of coaching programs, but you also think like, man, I've invested all this time and money. If I stop now, it was for nothing. But the thing is that it's not for nothing. First off, the first couple of months or a year or so that you were in the program, you still got something. And then also the connections that we made. Not to mention, I forget, it went out my head. But we are the things that we use our own energy to keep our businesses going, and implementation is more important than being encouraged to move on to the next level from an external force. So we have to just agree to do the work sometimes and just say, okay, I'm quitting, I'm chopping this thing off of my list and moving it. Marion, if you don't like the story you're writing, pick up the pen and start writing something new. Hey-o! Okay, get it, Marion. All right. Oh, tell us something about, you were saying that you have to stop listening to negative comments or comments that kind of just don't agree with you. So tell us, how did you just start growing that thicker skin, or just being able to say, hey, I'm not going to listen to that?
Experience. So I listen to my clients, but you can't listen to everything. So like, you can't please everybody. I'll have like a certain crew there. One client A may love them, client B may hate them, you know, but I actually put my employee first than the client. And I had to learn that the hard way, because I've had employees just leaving and you're putting the client first or the money first, and you're listening to everything that they have to say, where feedback is great, but I don't internalize a lot of stuff anymore. This is a business. I try not to put my feelings into it as much as possible. Like, I'm very passionate, but I'm not going to, I'll take constructive criticism all day long, but it doesn't really affect me to the point where I'm gonna go home and cry or want to quit. So
That's decent.
yeah.
All right. And then what do you think is the future of GLS? I'm sorry, I don't know why I stumbled on that. What do you think is the future of GLS?
So we mentioned restructuring the business, so I'm more hands off. I'm currently doing that now. We currently got 8 employees. I got about 3 trucks on the road. I just purchased my first set of billboards. So I have 3 in my town. They're digital, which means that the price is a little bit lower. And there's a power in the vision. I always heard that when I first started my business. There's a power in the vision. And I've always looked at these billboards like, you know what? I need to have my name up there. And there was this Drake album. I forget the name of the album, but he's like sitting on top of that building in Toronto. And I'm like, I want to get my name up there, and I want somebody to Photoshop me on the top of this billboard. That was the actual vision thought process, but I didn't get Photoshopped up there, but I did get my name on the billboard. And then actually, what we didn't talk about is we actually got picked up by In Paint magazine, which is like one of the top magazines in my industry. They just wrote a piece about me, so I'm actually about to get into their magazine, and I'm definitely excited about that.
Trade magazines, what?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm actually going to my first PCA Expo. PCA is Painting Contractors of America. That's basically where I get all of my standards from for painting. They're industry leaders. So, and I was going to get back to my next step in the future of GLS Painter. So we're actually trying to start up a school inside of our business where you're learning a trade, because a lot of kids are coming out of high school nowadays. They don't even want to go to college. It was when I was growing up, your mom and dad was pushing you to go to college, and now it's everybody wants to be an influencer or entrepreneur or selling some type of anything, you know. But the trades are like kind of dying. So if I could get a kid 18 to 25 years old, teach them a craft, hone in on those skills. Even if I hire you for 6 months to a year and you start up a business, I'm happy about that. And we encourage doing side work too. So
Yep. Encourage doing side work because it's community over competition. And that's something like,
I like that.
obviously there's, and the person, no, not going to go down that. I'm not going to birdwalk, but there is community over competition. All right. Does anybody want to just share a couple points? We only have him for about 3 to 5 more minutes. Does anybody?
I'm open for questions or anything like that, or some dialogue. I'm open for that. I got a little bit of time.
Anybody? No. Oh, Deanna, I see you.
Yeah. So you mentioned that I guess you don't mind if the people that work for you have side business where they do paint. That's unusual because a lot of businesses will have you sign a non-competing contract so that because they fear that you'll take away clients from them. So you encourage that. Why?
So first off, we actually have a model in place where we don't really do a lot of small jobs. So my minimum is basically 3 rooms or more. We're whole house painters. So a lot of my guys, one of my chief crew leaders, Kevin, he started having his own business on the side. He had a painting company, but he realized that he's only one guy. He can't do a whole house. So whenever he gets a whole house project, he'll give it to me. If I have like a small job, like a 1 or 2 bedroom, I give it to him and he does it on the weekends, and I encourage that. So it's definitely all love.
I have a question. So sorry, D, I'll get right back to you. Wait, go on. You want to go? Is it in the same line? Okay,
yeah, it is. I just wanted to commend him for that because that's an excellent motto to have to make your own business grow. Because the people that work for you understand that you're not just about the money. You really want to give them what you have, and you're not trying to hoard stuff for yourself. So I think that's when your business can grow, when you come to the table with that kind of generosity.
Thank you so much.
And one question, how long has GLS, you said you started around 20, I'm not trying, how long has GLS been around?
So I've been in business for 13 years. So
13 years.
When I originally started, I was kind of still working, but I had an LLC. So I was actually started as a maintenance man. Didn't know anything about maintenance, and then learned as I went. And I always loved painting, so I just kept it going.
Awesome. That's the one thing I wanted us to realize too. Some of us have had businesses or certain types of businesses for a while, and one day, some days we may be like, why isn't it so far, why isn't this far along? But he was around 11 years into his business and he was like, I'm gonna throw in the towel. And he still was like, okay, something called him back and he's able to rock and he's having the best year yet, And also somebody like me, or I can't remember who else has been around the business for about 2 or 3 years. It's like, you can't compare yourself to somebody that's 13 years in the business. If I just go right this second and get a billboard, it's not going to have the same impact as GLS painters. It'll be nice, but at the same time, his client base and his client base and the individuals that who will notice him, because he's been in various different networking groups in the particular area, and he has a totally different business model than me. So it's good to be inspired by individuals, but also we have to temper our comparison because it's just
I share
our own personal journey. Yes, you can share.
I wanted to share like a piece about the billboard. So I like photography or videography. So I like to do stuff on Instagram, which So immediately after I saw, first off, my son saw the billboard first, Junior, on the way to daycare. It's like directly on the way to daycare. And then I dropped him off. I did a quick video. and I went around to each one. Immediately put that on Nextdoor, which is the community app. The whole neighborhood, which was like close to 300 people or more, commented on there and said like they appreciate, because I put a lot of passion into that video. It was like real quick, but I'm just happy, that we finally got here. But I'm sorry where I was going with this. So the billboard, we got a lot of traction on there on Instagram, Facebook. But most importantly, this is what I was getting at. I was trying to tie into what you were saying. As soon as I put it up, I was tying into what you were saying, that clients already know me in the area. 3 of them who I don't necessarily know, who I gave a proposal to, signed that day just by seeing the billboard. So I'm not necessarily doing this to get phone calls. I don't need phone calls. I need business. So they're seeing it like, oh, this is just a brand recognition piece. You may see a Zoom with GLS painters. You may see shirts. You may see a truck. You may see lawn signs. You may see the Instagram. You may see Nextdoor, and then you see a billboard. I got to call this guy. Who is this guy? What are they doing? I've seen their work. I'm already sold. So I'm doubling my business without making a sale, basically.
I have a quick question.
Go ahead.
I just love that. That's it all for me. It's like the brand recognition piece is the missing puzzle, or not, I guess not missing puzzle, but it's sorry, my brain is like sleep deprived from raising a little puppy right now. And I'm having trouble putting words together, but word of mouth is such and on Nextdoor too, I feel like it's its own word of mouth way of referrals. But the brand recognition piece is one that I don't necessarily think about. And I just think that's brilliant. But one thing I wanted to ask was, where did you find your employees that you trust? How do you find someone you really value who can do the work? Because I know being an artist, it is tough doing a good job on a room, I think. And so how do you find someone who can do a good job and that you trust to do it well, effectively, and also trust them to be like a good person and all that stuff?
I would first start with referrals.
Okay,
So
there we go.
that's one of the biggest pieces. So the same way you get business from a referral, you can definitely get a referral for your employees. And it starts with one. So I've had one, and I incentivize them to death. Hey, I'm gonna give you $100, $200. Find me a guy.
Got it.
But
Okay.
they gotta have great character. They need a vehicle. We'll train. If they have experience, that's great. But I'm definitely on Nextdoor a lot. I mean, I'm not Nextdoor. I'm sorry, Indeed. So we post regularly on Indeed. And what I learned this year is that the same way we market for our business is the same way we need to be marketing for our employees. And if you're not putting money into your marketing and you're not putting any money into your employees to market for your employees, and you're just word of mouth, you're going to just get word of mouth business. So you got to have some type of budget with all of this stuff. And my Indeed budget is currently higher. I wouldn't say higher, but I'm spending a lot of money on Indeed to find and attract good employees. And the way I structure my Indeed application or advertisement is, are you looking to be valued on your job? Are you looking to have a great atmosphere? Do you want to be paid well? So I'm actually pulling good guys or good employees are already at great employment.
Yeah.
Nobody's the people that are not good are home.
Yeah.
I know that. So how can we attract good clientele or good talent? We have to pull them from other jobs.
Yeah.
Unless you set up a work from home business. All right. Thank you so much, Jeremy, for sharing that. I see somebody typing. Is anybody? We're good. We're good. Okay. Thank you so much for being with us tonight.
This was amazing. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
We recorded it, so we're gonna throw it into our community, and then I'll share a copy with you. And then what I'll do too is I will put his Instagram and Facebook, so that way you can follow him as well. He's fun to follow. Usually it's very business, but it's more edutainment.
Hey,
so it's good.
yes.
It's good. All right, thank you.
Well, thank you so much, guys. Be unstoppable.
Oh, there we go.
Great job. Thank you. Thank you.
All righty, y'all.
Thank
Have a good
you.
evening.
Thank you.
Okay, so, woo!
That was
Now,
good.
It was nice, right? I
Very
wanted
nice.
us to know, like, he has a great business. He's down to earth. I didn't know he started getting, more recognition, but it's simple. He paints. He started off with painting one room, door. Now he doesn't take anything less than three room minimum, And then the fact that he was in the business for around 10 to 11 years, and then he's like, I'm throwing in the towel.
Experience.
And then it's like, how do we measure, not measure up? And it's okay to stop and take a rest. It's okay to quit. When he was saying, earlier or this week, I quit this particular program, I quit that particular program. And I think that sometimes when we quit, we're like, oh, I quit, and it's like, no, I quit because that's no longer serving me. The end. Okay, guys, talk about us. Susan, you're first. Wins, struggles. Did you fall? What's going on with Susan today?